So for a lot of golfers, they get driver in the hand and the first thought is let's get in play. So they kind of set up very similar to kind of an iron. The ball positions a little bit forward and they put that swing on it. And it comes out a little bit on the flat side, but it's accurate. The club head speed's okay. It's 190 carry and 240 total. So I'm going to apologise now if you look at those numbers and go, I don't get anywhere near that. But keep watching because the 5 tips I'm going to talk about today are going to transform the way you hit your driver. So the first thing I want you to try is I want you, instead of standing like you do with an iron, I want you to build yourself a wider stance. Okay, it's going to give you that ability to shift your pressure a little bit better, but also because that lever's longer, you've got a nice solid foundation to swing. So the first swing there was at 96 mile an hour and the low point was ahead. So I'm going to get just a little bit wider. I'm not really going to change anything else and see what that first tip does. So it's a little bit down the right. But we see straight away the club head speed's gone up, and as a result, we're already at 220 carry and 250 total. But it might be in the semi-rough, but I'm pretty sure we can live with that. So that first thing is get that stance nice and wide. That's straight away going to pick up some speed for you. So tip number 2 is we're going to go from our regular tee height, we're going to tee the ball a little higher. So I've just gone from the pink castle tee to the orange castle tee. So pop that in and it's noticeable how when I put driver behind the golf ball, much more of the ball is above the top of the club head. Now, we're going to have to tie tip number 3 in with tip number 2. So as we've moved the ball up, we now need to get the lowest point of our swing behind the ball instead of ahead. So we're going to get the club travelling up rather than down at impact. So we might nudge that ball a little forward, but we're going to focus our eyes a little more behind the ball and start the club kind of 3, 4, even 5 inches behind. So you've got that wide stance. We've teed the ball up and we're going to look behind the ball. And straight away, that's the money. 101 club speed, ball speed at 148, low point 4.5 inches behind, so the club's travelling up. Great spin because it's out the middle of the golf club, and we're now at 246 carry and 272 total. Now, tip number 4, and I've not needed this, but you probably will. So when the ball's up on that high tee, and we suddenly start getting the low point behind the ball, brilliant for optimizing distance. But when you look at the swing this angle, when the club's traveling down through the ball, the club's actually moving to the right or from the inside. When the club's traveling up, it's actually moving left or more out to in. So a lot of golfers fall into the habit that they move the ball forward because they're going to hit the ball further, but the path suddenly becomes more out to in. They start losing the ball more out to the right. Now, like I said, I didn't do that, but I would say I struggle more nowadays drawing the golf ball because of that path issue. So if you are somebody who slices driver, we've got the wide stance, we've teed it up, got the club behind. We're going to close your stance a little bit so that you're going to swing more from the inside, so that by the time the club's traveling up to get to the golf ball, the path's going to be much straighter. You might even, if the club face control is decent, start hitting those little draws. So we've got wide stance, ball teed high, club behind, close the stance. And I appreciate there's a lot going on very quickly here, but these are all things predominantly that we're just changing in setup, so not swing thoughts. So we're going to get there, everything's good, and now make my swing. Now for me, that's going to turn over a bit more, but we can see club head speeds up. I'm hitting up on the ball. The little toe strikes made it shape a bit more. Spin's gone down, and it's not my longest one. So for me, I don't need tip 4, but honestly, probably 90% of you watching will need that. But the final tip, the icing on the cake, we want more speed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie all of those little thoughts at setup in, but we're gonna add a swing thought in there. And the swing thought is simply gonna be, we're gonna let the club go back, and instead of feeling any resistance, we're gonna let that trail hip turn behind us. We're gonna get that trail shoulder behind us for a bigger, longer backswing. And we're just gonna freewheel through the bottom. So I've been up at nearly 105 mile an hour. So run through the 5 tips. Work with me if you're down at the range. So we're gonna go nice wide stance. We've already teed the ball up, so that's great. Club starts behind. We're gonna close that stance, for me, just a little bit. But then we're gonna go big backswing and just freewheel. Not struck it great. So club head speed's decent at 104. Ball speed's still fine at 146. Low strikes made the spin go up. 227 carrying 248. Can't finish the video on that one though, can I? So we're gonna tee that up again. Run through the little checklist. Go for that big swing. Gotta see more speed. Match that with strike, and then we are talking some serious distance with driver. So it didn't feel flush, but it's 106. It's nearly 156 ball speed. My low point 6.5 inches behind. I've hit up 4.4 degrees, spins low to the toe strike, but it's nearly 270 carry and nearly 300 total. Now I can't promise you I can get you from where I was at the start to that. But if you can run through those 5 tips, do them one by one, don't try and do them all in one go, you're gonna start hitting this further. If you hit this further and keep it in play, you get shorter shots into the green, drive it past all your buddies, and basically enjoy your golf better than ever.